damn good cup of coffee. By the way, the cup is empty. Hey guys, what's up? And today I'm gonna do a review on the old 90s classic mystery thriller TV show Twin Peaks and its first season. And yes, I still can't pronounce words properly because my mouth is still in a lot of pain. But I gotta do what I gotta do, you know. So ooh, here you go, Twin Peaks. It hurts. So last year, 2017, Twin Peaks is renewed after 26 years of hiatus. So I decided to watch the whole thing from the beginning to the end. Twin Peaks was written by Mark Frost and the almighty David Lynch. First episode is Pilot or Northwest Passage, which is apparently a German translation or something. So basically there was a place called Twin Peaks, and there was a girl named Laura Palmer who mysteriously died one morning. Because of that, Laura's parents, friends, classmates, everyone in town heard the news and felt extremely sad for her death. School closes down, factories close down, even the FBI also came to investigate. It's a huge deal. First, the characters. They are amazing. Probably the most solid set of characters in a 90s TV show. Audrey was a playful and naughty girl. Donna was Laura's friend and she's really upset. Bobby was a rebellious and rude boy. Andy was a sheriff and he's cowardly. Harry S. Truman, not the president, was a regular sheriff, and my favorite character, of course, Dale Cooper, also the main character, was a very smart and cool FBI agent who's really interesting to work with, who loves drinking coffee and eating pie. And this show is really cinematic. It's not like any other 90s TV show. It really stands out. Its quality is high enough to be a movie. And the first episode is 2 hours long. I really like how the murder of Laura Palmer has many layers and branches to it that leads to more disturbing and strange clues. I also appreciate how there are still elements of comedy in such a mysterious and horrifying story. And then we hit the second half of the pilot episode and it takes place at night. The second half of the episode makes no sense, especially the ending. By the way, I watched the international ending, so I'm gonna talk about the alternative ending, aka the better one. I'm not gonna spoil the story that much, but it's hard to comment on the story without spoiling it. So basically the second half is full of strange Lynchian moments, because hell yeah, David Lynch is the writer, literally. It gets more and more insane afterwards. The scary moments are scary, the strange moments are strange. The one-armed man showed up at the hospital and helped Cooper and Truman to find Bob, the killer. Then strange things happened. Bob sang a song. Then it suddenly jumps to 25 years later, where an old Agent Cooper calmly sits in a strange red room with a dwarf and a girl who looked exactly like Laura Palmer. They talked strangely. They spoke backwards, but actually forward. Like, they spoke backwards when they were filming it, and then when they put it in the TV show, they flipped it backwards again, so double backwards, it's forward, but it's spoken backwards, so it's weird. Yeah, it's really weird. And then the episode ended with extraneous flashing lights. The dwarf danced around and the other Laura Palmer told Cooper something. I really like the strange and confusing parts. I hope this show is like Lost, where it reveals the answer later, but I appreciate the art and the strangeness. And yeah, it's like Lost. Everything's so confusing, but it's also very unstable. Like in Lost, you're pretty sure that answers are gonna get solved. But in a show like Twin Peaks, it's David Lynch, man. Sometimes you don't get an explanation, but you do mostly in this show. So far, it's a very promising pilot episode that doesn't beat around the bush, but also doesn't straight up feed us information, but slowly letting us learn about the situation while adding some strange scenes which makes it more entertaining to watch. My mouth, oh my gosh. Moving on to episode 2. Dale Cooper and Harry Truman continue to investigate Laura Palmer's death while the one-armed man and Bob showed up again. I really like the characters in this TV show. There's a lot of special characters like the log lady who said her log saw something happen the night Laura died. So it's both funny and creepy. The subplot line of Catherine secretly going against Josie is okay in my opinion. I also like how the romance between Dale Cooper and Audrey started, but I'm still waiting for David Lynch to appear, aka Gordon Cole. Then it's episode 3. Dale Cooper and Harry Truman continued their investigation, but this episode actually centered more on the supporting characters. Ben and Jerry Horn went into brothels. Yeah, brothels. And Ben's daughter, Audrey Horn, met Donna in a cafe and danced to the music, which is a scene I really love. It's really weird and unorthodox, but I love it. Donna and James' romance continued. Bobby was scared of Leo, and he secretly fell in love with Leo's wife, Shelley. Ed made Nadine mad by stepping on her drape runners, and Catherine still hated Josie. I also like how the show clarified the situation, since the plot is very complicated. The show clarified the plot by making Dale throw rocks at a glass bottle after reading some names. And all that one-armed man and Cooper's dream from the international pilot were in this episode as well. So this episode is full of classic moments, and it's pretty good. Up next is episode 4. The secret society has revealed, and Catherine continued to trick Josie. Meanwhile, the funeral of Laura Palmer took place. Again, there's not much to say about this episode. It mainly focuses on the important characters. I really wish to see some more exciting and strange scenes to make us ask questions even more. I want more clues too. I feel like this episode could have been a bit more entertaining, but instead everyone continued to do whatever they're doing. So yeah. Over to episode 5, The One-Armed Man. They tried to find the one-armed man from Cooper's dream in real life, so this episode will be interesting. I'm sorry for the air conditioning, by the way. I'm really hot right now. It's really hot right now, okay? There's also something that intrigues me about this episode, which is people's connections. Benjamin Horne was a low-key criminal, and Josie Packard received weird messages. The whole cocaine thing with Bobby, Jock, and Leo became one of the most important storylines in the series so far, which is a pretty decent storyline. We also meet a new character, Gordon Cole, in this episode, which is portrayed by the one and only David Lynch. All in all, this is an interesting episode and certainly underrated. Moving on to episode 6, I'm still so confused on what's Benjamin and Hank's motives are, but they are somehow connected. I know that. Then we have the log lady telling the detectives about what did the log see at the night of Laura's death, and it is a pretty disturbing and dark description, not gonna lie. Cooper's dream of the Red Room continued to make sense. There's always music and the air echoes with the looping vinyl in the cabin with red drapes. And she's my cousin, but doesn't she look almost exactly like Laura Palmer? Echoes with the character of Madeline. Bobby and Dr. Jacoby also revealed some of the most eerie and disturbing things about Laura. About her dark backstory that involves with cocaine and prostitution, which makes Laura Palmer somewhat dangerous and manipulative even. Even Audrey's behavior went a bit more eccentric on this episode. But I really like her character. She's smart and she's fun, but still she has a deeper side. That's why the characters of Twin Peaks are complex and I love it. Overall, this is an entertaining episode that is full of key moments. Although I'm still quite confused on what's happening when I was watching this episode. I'm not that confused now because I've already finished watching season 2, by the way. But yeah, it's still a pretty damn confusing episode. Then it's episode 7. The detectives are so close to the answer. Josie told Harry what's been bothering her, and Donna, James, and Madeline teamed up to investigate on Laura's death. And Audrey continued to trick people for her own advantage, which is kind of jerky, but it's also kind of brilliant. And it feels like the whole world was under Audrey's control on this episode. And Donna and James also tried to trick Dr. Jacoby because they thought he has some important information about Laura Palmer. Will they succeed? Well, we'll find out on the next episode. Maybe not as exciting as the last episode, but it sets up the tension for the next episode by dropping cliffhangers. Then the finale arrives. I got to say that this episode had exceeded my expectations because it's full of amazing scenes that look way ahead of its time. I'm giving a spoiler alert too. Yes, like I said, a lot of the amazing scenes on this episode also feels like they are written in the 2000s or even the 2010s. The scenes where Dr. Jacoby got attacked, Jacques' death scene, Leo's death scene, although he didn't really die, Catherine saving Shelley from the fire, Audrey dressed up as a prostitute and was about to be discovered by her dad, and the final scene where a random guy just shoots Dale Cooper. Wow, so many unanswered questions and cliffhangers. Like, how did Dr. Jacoby find the necklace? Who was the mystery man Laura was talking about? And how was Hank connected to Josie, Ben Horne, Catherine, Leo, and Bobby? And ultimately, who killed Laura Palmer? The answer is not revealed yet. The writers really used their utmost imagination to write this episode. I'm thoroughly impressed. Especially impressed with David Lynch and Mark Frost's excellent writing. And yes, if nobody had told me who the killer was, I would still think Leo was the killer, but he died, so he's not the killer after all. I'm kind of glad that Leo died. Again, quote to quote died, because apparently he's still alive in season 2. But yeah, I'm glad someone saved Shelley as well. But I just really hope that Dale and Harry would just trust James and Donna more. And I really hope that they would team up and find out Laura's killer together. I hope they team up with Audrey too. I still don't know what's in that friggin' envelope, and I still don't know who shot Dale Cooper. And there's a scene towards the end when Shelley was saved by Catherine in the fire. That scene, like in the standard of 90s TV, it's pretty intense, and it's a pretty damn amazing scene. But watching it in the 2010s, it's kind of cheesy, and it kind of cracked me up a little bit. But at the end, this is a game-changing, industry-changing TV show. Back in the early 90s and late 80s, it's all silly sitcoms and comedy cartoons. But it's Twin Peaks which brought television to a whole new cinematic level and reinvented the drama series. David Lynch and Mark Frost were brilliant on this show. All the twists, cliffhangers, and unanswered questions are also original and innovative. Yeah, it's the 90s and the story feels like the 2000s for most of the time. Of course, the background music for that intense rescue scene in the finale, again, cheesy and 90s as hell. It's basically drum beats and guitars, you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, the theme song, it's amazing. The soundtrack overall, it's also very memorable, and I actually really dig it. There were also a handful of cheesy moments on this season as well, such as when a gun shoots, the show only shows the barrel, like it's the barrel shot, like the James Bond intro. Pretty cheesy. The romance is pretty cheesy, and the whole coffee thing. I mean, it's the 90s, so forgive it. Forgive it. But still, the writers put both comedy and mystery in the same story. Didn't mix them, but put them together, and I think that's really quite smart for a 90s TV show. And I love this TV show, and I'm anticipating for more. Overall, the worst is episode 4, Rest in Pain, and the best is the finale, The Last Evening. All titles are German translations, by the way. I'm saying Twin Peaks Season 1 is mind-blowing, and I'm giving it an 8 to a 9 out of 10, a very generous 9. So, have you watched Twin Peaks Season 1 from 1 to 10? How much would you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe it if you want more. Oh, my mouth. I'm doing this just to do a review, man. I'm literally hurting myself just to do a friggin' TV review. So, whew.